Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Champagne Wives podcast, season 5. I'm your host, Kelly.
And I'm your co-host, Nicole. Hey, Kels.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, actually.
Yeah?
I can't believe it's season 5.
New season.
Right.
Back at it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think it would happen this fast, but here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah. And setup's a little bit different for this episode.
Why?
Because we have some esteemed guests here.
Very esteemed.
From
our friends
from Krew season. We can introduce you, but we feel like you could probably introduce yourself a lot better. So why don't y'all take a moment to introduce our fans to who you are?
Sure. My name is AC. Some call me Trill, some call me Trill AC. Either is good. 1/4 of the Krew season podcast, number one pod in the world. No offense, but number one pod in the world.
Trying to be like y'all, don't worry.
We want to be
no offense taken.
Yeah.
Glad you're here with the small people.
Straight up, man. Salute. And salute to my girls, man. Last episode that we collabed on was legendary. I expect no different this time.
Welcome.
OT from Krew season, aka Spanish Poppy. For those that know, they understand.
Oh, today years old, Spanish Poppy. Hola.
Spanish Poppy,
You could have told me that. You could have warned me.
I do a little Spanish every now and then.
Okay.
You know. It's just,
She does too.
Do not.
Are you Spanish, mommy?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Just asking.
So we had, to your point, a legendary link up last time we got together. And we were so appreciative of the invite and figured we would return the favor and extend an invite to have y'all here. We are in Montrose, a really vibey area here in the Houston metro. And tell us what's been going on with y'all since the last time that we linked up.
Man, work, and more work. We done elevated somewhat, in all our platforms and different things like that. But just kind of zeroing in and just perfecting the craft.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't understand. Like, you got to do this thing over and over and over. Well, y'all do now. Y'all understand. You got to do this over and over and over to kind of perfect your craft, your cadence, your tone, your flow, and what you talk, all that, because all that stuff matters when you relaying the message. So that's what we've been doing, fine tuning and just trying to elevate, man.
Let's talk about this elevation and this glow
Can we?
up,
Because y'all are being humble right now.
You are being very humble. And hopefully once you drink a little bit more of your drink, like the real will come out. Because
It's 'cause we ain't there yet.
How many followers do y'all have right now?
which platform?
Yeah.
I'm like, see?
Listen, these are
there you go.
these are like influencer status problems at this point.
Exactly.
Well, I can tell you on IG, because I know when we linked up last time, y'all were maybe at like just under 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And that was like September of 22. So where are y'all now? Let the people know.
I think like 305,000 or something like that.
Look at God.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Come on,
yes.
cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers to that. I can't reach all the way. Cheers.
Yes. There you go, Spanish Poppy. So 305,000. And what do you
Instagram.
attribute to your success in like getting to that? And that's just on IG, but you got more on TikTok. What are you, 500K on TikTok?
600.
Yeah, 600 now.
I stand corrected. Okay. So what do you attribute to the success of the pod?
What you think, What you attribute to the success?
It's just consistency. One thing that really got us off was just being raw and authentic, and then just coming from a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's us being guys. I think that's something that's kind of been new in this space.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of women's podcasts and about what they go through and breakups and divorces and stuff like that. But you ever heard too many men's perspectives? And with us, being so versatile and different, we come from the same area, but you got two people that's married, one person got divorced. I'm in the process of, soon to be married. So you just get different perspectives, just from 4 guys. And I mean, that's where it comes from, just consistency and them, just listening to what we got to say. Cause it's not just anything just for fluff or just to kind of grab you. Like, it's like real stuff that you can hold on to.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's the believability. That's one thing my boy, he being humble too. He's leaving that out. It's the believability. It's a lot of dudes on here talking about relationships and dating and picking up women. And then you look at him and he ain't really outside. He don't really get no women like that. You see what I'm saying? When they look at us, they don't really get that vibe. They believe what it is that we're saying.
Perpetrating.
Right. Of course.
There's a lot of perpetrators out
Perpetration.
here. So congratulations. The last time we were together, I don't think you were engaged. So have you recently gotten engaged?
It's like
by the time this airs, maybe?
Yeah, by the time this airs, for sure.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay, no spoilers.
We will put the cat on the bag.
Spoilers. Okay.
You got me nervous.
I know, right?
Did I miss something?
Right.
And then also what I like about y'all is y'all's merchandise. And I know that maybe you had some when we were with you guys the last time, but I just feel since then it has truly leveled up and its quality is what I like about it. Like really quality merchandise, and you guys have like a variety of different things that you have branded. And I love that. Yeah. Y'all have to tell us who your supplier is.
For sure.
So let's get that vendor plug.
Let us get that. Yes, let us get that plug.
We were just saying we got to take it up a notch too, you know. Because that's something like we've done, but not really focused on. We kind of just, you know, we have it, but if we really lean into it, I think we could really make a big difference.
Absolutely.
It's great stuff. Like, do you make it available for your fans and listeners to buy?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Definitely. Like, and the wild part is that, you know, we, like, people don't understand how important merch is. You got to understand, like, when people wearing your stuff, they are walking advertisement. Like, you see what I'm saying? But people be so pressed on getting the money, right? So they'll buy cheap material and try to get as much, you know, net profit as they can or whatever, but it's cheap material, mess up in the wash, different stuff like that. But if you're giving quality material and these people walking around with it, proud to have it on, people be asking like, what is that? What is that? Like, it be a lot of times where, you know, my moms be out or one of the boys be out and they be like, what is that? Hey bro, somebody called me asking me about the merch. Can I give it to them? Like, yeah, for sure. So, you know, we take that serious, even though we don't release as much as we should, but when we do, it's like, okay, we got to really focus in and make sure this shit look right. You know
for sure.
Word of mouth is the best marketing. You guys are such a blueprint, I feel like, for us in a lot of ways, in a lot of podcasts. Just want to give y'all flowers while y'all here, because before we were invited to come on your show, we had been watching y'all, not in like a creepy stalker type of way, but because we were just a news podcast and we didn't know what we didn't know. And we felt like you guys were really doing something, right? Like you had almost 50,000 followers. You guys were putting out multiple videos, you know, and the conversation was great. The dynamic was great. You guys did have the experience, so it didn't feel like it was inauthentic or fake. And so, you know, it's just, we are so appreciative to be able to have this relationship with y'all. When y'all reached out for us to come on, we did a little happy dance. Low key. Because we were like, we want, that was a goal of ours. Like our goal was to come on to your show, and we were going to eventually reach out to you all, but you all did it first.
Look at God.
And so we appreciate that. We appreciate the love that you have shown us. Yeah.
First off, I'm extremely humbled, and I want to thank you guys for that. Like, really, because we don't really hear that a lot, especially like in this podcast and space. It's so competitive. So people don't be wanting to show each other love and all that stuff. So but just like I told y'all when I reached out to y'all, I said I'd watch the content. I'm like, I like how they articulate themselves. I like the tone of the conversation. It's mature. It's realistic. It's not on some old men ain't it ain't that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if it's productive conversation, I'm all for it. So that's what drew me in, and that's what y'all do well. So thank you.
Even though that we had our little moment during
I'm always try to bring it out of you.
You know, you and I had our moment.
that battle of the sexes was epic.
We got another one coming up.
We'll have to have a redo.
No, we don't. Actually,
yes, we do. Not like that, but
No.
I'm saying we got another one coming up.
okay.
Oh, you do?
So I mean,
We'll be waiting for the invite.
No.
I like it.
Listen, sir. I'm behind the scenes telling you what to say.
Be a producer.
Hit me with these cue cards, Sean. Hit me with the cue cards.
You got to put me with somebody else.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Because he's
Put her with Drake.
too much.
And I need to be spry and ready, because that was like hour 6 of the entire recording situation. So okay. Yeah. Battle of sexes. We go figure it out. So last kind of intro question. What's the origin of Krew season? Like, talk to us about that.
Man, we come from the sandbox. You know, all of us been knowing each other since grade school. That's my real cousin in real life. You know what I'm saying? So we've been knowing each other since we was kids. So the bond has been organic from day one. You know, it's not one of them pods to where, hey, you got to follow and I got to follow and let's link and do something. It ain't that, you know. So we always been having these conversations forever. Since we was younger, we was having kickbacks and functions and things of that nature, to where we was discussing relationship topics. And it was his idea. So if I'm gonna be honest, in terms of like, man, we need to like be a little more organized with this, bro. Let's like really set up some like and create content for real. And I was just like, I ain't really feeling that, because I'm more of an introvert.
Right.
But you know, he ended up talking me into it one day. We ended up buying the camera and setting it up. We invited some, you know, young ladies to come through there and just have a conversation, man. And here we are 5 years later. So yeah, that's how I started. Extremely organic.
Almost 6 years.
Yeah.
Almost.
I mean, that's not a long time, you know, relatively speaking. I mean, 5 years is a blip. It goes by so fast, and you guys have grown so much over the last 5 years. That's crazy.
Man, I appreciate it.
How do y'all stay balanced with it?
With the pod and just life,
Right.
man.
Because like the pod is like an engine.
That's what I want to know, because
and y'all have like real life.
but I feel like we're women too, so like they don't have the same, I feel like, burdens as we have as women.
Oh, it's,
Do you
I
agree?
mean,
Or the same responsibilities.
especially with him, we finally got him to stop editing the film, because that was taking like 5-6 hours, you know, plus sometimes out of his day. Then we added, you know, 3 cameras, so that's a lot of, you know, stuff going on. So, but yeah, I used to hit him up all the time, like, bro, like, you good? You need something? Like, where can I help? Because I couldn't even just imagine. I know I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, he got a lot of stuff going on, and he got to do the editing part too.
Yeah.
So, but it's just carving out the time, you know. Doing as best we can. We just sending out, hey, what y'all schedule like this weekend? You know, can you do this time? Can you do that time? You know, one guy may be like, I can only do Saturday mornings. He was like, okay, who else can do Saturday morning? And then we just kind of roll from there. And it's like because every week is different. You know, we got kids, basketball games, recitals, and our girls want to do things, you know, so we just find the time and make it work. And we make it look easy. But it's not. And the fact that we keep recording every single week, it honestly, it does amaze me. And then we do our live stream on Wednesdays. We recently added live stream on Fridays. So, you know, it's a lot. But we
sacrifice.
Yeah, we make the time. Because we see the bigger picture. And we know where it will go.
Yeah.
So
what's the bigger picture for y'all?
And a whole media network, to be honest, you know, eventually getting to the point where we can hire talent ourselves, help them blossom into, you know, what they need to be. Because this conversation is one that's like evergreen. You know, it's going to keep going forever. People getting into new relationships every single day. See what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of like shaping it the right way. You know, I don't want to have a Jerry Springer type of network. I want to have a productive conversation. Like, how can we really bring people together? So that's the end goal. And, you know, hopefully one day, you know, turn into a TV show, or who knows, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it's a sacrifice, man. Just going back to answer y'all question, you know, people be thinking that this, you know, it comes easy, it comes overnight, or you just got lucky, or you just popular, or this clip went viral, or whatever. But people don't be understanding, like, it'd be years behind that viral clip. And you be thinking like it happened overnight. Nah, it's a bunch of sleepless nights. It's sacrifice. It's, you know, hey, you know, we drop our part Tuesday, but everybody can't record till Monday. So we record Monday night. I stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning editing, then going to work at 6 just to make sure that the part come out on time. Like, it's a lot of sacrifice that go into it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like when we get to talking about these numbers and follow accounts and, you know, money that we making from it, man, this shit is earned. It ain't you know.
For sure.
It's not easy. It's really not. And Nicole is that person for us. Right? Like, if it weren't for Nicole, there would be no CWP, because I have the idea, but I have no execution. And my nerves get too bad. So, you know, she is the person. She's our social media manager. She keeps the page active and activated. She comes up with ideas and posts and things. I mean, today was just really her, like behind the scenes, making all this stuff happen. So I think it's important to have that one person in your group who will take the helm, right, and be able to do the things that like other people are just not able to do. It's kind of like playing off of each other's strengths and opportunities, right? Because we were a part of another podcast with someone, and she said that she had actually started with a friend, or a friend, and it ended up just being her because they just didn't have the same goals. They didn't have the work ethic. They didn't have the same drive. So I think it's really important that when you are doing something like this or opening a business, you partner with like-minded people. And I know it's 4 of y'all, but what's great is that y'all all 4 don't need to be together. Like it still works if it's just the 2 of y'all or the other 2 or the other 3. In the case of last time, I think it's like New Edition. You don't know if Bobby Brown gonna be there.
It's still a group, even if it's 2.
Still a group, exactly.
And shout out to Kenny too.
Got the hit.
Yeah, shout out to Kenny too, because Kenny driving an hour and a half every time you'll see him.
Gosh.
Hour and a half here, hour and a half back every single time.
Sometimes turn around same day. Like like for example, he'll get off at like 5 in the morning, get off work, and then we got to record at 10. So he'll drive an hour and a half, fresh off working at 12. Record from 10 to 2, drive hour and a half back, be at work again for 5.
That's commitment.
Yep.
It's that type
That's
of thing.
commitment.
You know what I'm saying?
Believe in the
So,
vision.
Well, he's the fourth of the crew that we have not met yet.
Right.
So
Mhm.
looking forward to actually meeting him at some point in time.
When y'all meet him, y'all gonna know he here though.
he a live wire, that's
There
for
we
sure.
go. So we have the champs poured, we got the tequila poured, we got the intros and the warm-ups out the way. Can we jump into it? You ready?
Girl, let's go.
You
sound
ready,
nervous.
Spanish
You okay?
Poppy?
I'm not nervous.
I'm ready.
I told you, we're in my environment. We are leading this
This
conversation.
is more of a neutral playing
It's not
field.
neutral.
Oh,
And I'm not talking
there's
to
a field advantage. Okay.
Yes, home field. That's what it is. Home field advantage. And I'm not talking to him too much. I gave him his flowers. I said what I had to say. And then after that, we could
Listen,
We
okay.
shall see.
Okay. All right. So a couple of questions that we wanted to just ask. And then you guys have some reels that, I mean, you talk about viral reels. I mean, none of your reels are like below 20,000. So like, that's crazy. I don't know if you guys have just gone and taken a look at the stats. Just one more flower we're going to throw. But none of your reels are below 20,000, and 20,000 is actually being quite conservative. Like y'all have millions of views on some of your reels.
Are a lot of those women, like what most of your like
Absolutely.
demographic women?
Especially Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you get from men? Do y'all get hate from men? Because most of the conversation that y'all are conversations that you're having are, you know, directed to men, but with like women in mind, women positive. So are the men in your DMs? I don't know, that sounds crazy, so pause on that. But are the men in your DMs being like, yo, like this, y'all are you're pandering too much to the females, like man up, da 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 da. Like what's that conversation look like?
Yeah,
If there is one.
Yeah, it's about 50-50 if I'm gonna be honest, as far as like the men who come. Now, first off, not many men hit us in the DM, right? That's the style of that. For the record.
Hit it with a pause.
But 50-50 in terms of like, you got some men like, bro, well, why y'all always speaking for their side? Why y'all can't speak for our side? Blah, blah, blah. And then you got the other dudes like, hey, bro, that was some real stuff you said. Me and my old lady just went through that. And, you know, that right there helped us navigate, you know what I'm saying, to stay together and stuff. So it's like a 50-50 thing. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's about progressive conversation. You know, you can't really call it pandering if I'm not downing the men. I'm just saying, hey, this is how you move better within your relationship.
Simple.
Not saying that what you're doing is wrong or you a terrible man or you trash or da. It's like, nah, if y'all want to stay together, this is going to work. And I'm telling you this because I'm living it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not nothing I read. It's not nothing I researched.
This is lived experience.
Do you think a lot of the men who are saying like, why don't you just tailor your conversation more for us or just stick up for us? Do you think they're like in real life trash?
Nah, man. I think that. She started already. You see it?
Girl, like, do you think
It'd be so subtle. It'd be so subtle though. That'd be
Some of them be unhappy.
Projection, right? Like,
Some of them. Because I think also some of them are used to the content when we first started. The first content we had, it wasn't bad, but it was combative a little bit. And so I think that's what some of them want and that was they're used to. So that's why they want us to bring that back and always talking crazy to women. It's like, nah, we ain't.
But that wouldn't be evolution or growth.
At all. But and even then, we weren't even talking crazy. It was just...
You're just telling the truth. You're telling the truth in a very animated way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
I have to go run these old clips back, these old tweets back.
Yeah, I would love to see like the origin story. Like,
how did we get here?
You guys started. Yeah,
this is the more like evolved version. It sounds like
absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, also a lot of those guys, you know, when they reach out and say those things, I think it comes from a place of them not feeling heard. You know, it's not a lot of platforms, at least throughout history, compared to the last 2-3 years, that really spoke on behalf of men. So they be feeling like, damn, can we get some of that same juice? You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying nothing you're saying is wrong because that they can't. What I'm saying is logically sound. But it's like we need y'all to lean a little more our way with the presentation of it because we don't feel heard or, you know, I may not be able to express myself like you can. So you can do it. So help us out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that. So I mean, I understand it. You know, it's all good.
I feel like the men that get it, and
sure.
the ones that don't are just struggling with life in general. Even when I think about
That's two. You see it? That's two she slipped in. But
we need like a little scoreboard over here.
I'm thinking of like the people who even come to the men that come to our page. And not only just come to our page to see what we're talking about, but has enough time to like leave comments, like nasty comments.
Oh, that the reel about the when is a woman submissive? The submissive reel.
Oh my God. And like who?
The men that had the time to fix their fingers to even type a response.
The vitriol of the men.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, we didn't say anything derogatory.
Right.
We didn't say anything mean.
Right.
We didn't call anybody out. Like, why are you so offended
You know
by
why?
what we're saying?
It's because y'all are very firm and very confident in y'all delivery. And they don't like that in women, regardless of what you're saying. You can be saying anything, but the fact that your like shoulders are up, like chest is up, and when you're saying it, you're projecting like, nah, this is what's necessary, this is what's required. A lot of men don't like that confidence in a woman.
Oh.
And y'all exhibit that unapologetically, right? So that's gonna just ruffle feathers right out of the gate. Especially when y'all speaking in terms of something that benefits y'all more so in comparison to men. So that's where it comes from. You know, again, you be in this thing long enough, you learn not to take it personal, because they don't have beef with you. They have beef with the idea of what you represent.
And beef with themselves.
Or be right.
That too.
And that too, yeah.
Beef with
For sure.
themselves.
Yeah, that's a part of
but
it.
That's you know, something to be said, because when you are, you know, you normally live a private life.
Right.
And my Instagram wasn't public until like maybe a couple of years ago. So when you live a relatively private life and then you open your life up and you have all these people, and people were nice to me on my social media. They were my friends, my family. Like nobody said anything crazy to me like that. But when you have people that you don't know just come and saying like the most horrible things about you, you do have to grow a tough layer of skin and just like, and really, really quickly, because it can be a lot. I mean, it can like alter your spirit and dim your life.
Have you questioning your own shit.
Have you questioning yourself. Yeah.
That is the life of content creation. I be trying to get these boys to stop arguing people in comments all the time. Me, I done got to the point where I don't even read it. Like once I post a clip,
Done.
I'll check back maybe 30 minutes. Okay, what the numbers look like? Okay, it's cool. Boom, I'm on to the next thing. I'm not going back and reading comments and
That's a great
arguing back and forth with people, because it's pointless. One thing I learned is that you're not going to change no grown folks' mind.
That's true.
They going to feel the way they feel. You could present something in the most logical way possible, black and white, sound, evidence, facts, stats right here. They're going to still say, yeah, but I feel like.
Yeah.
So at that point, when you get to talk about I feel, now that's personal. And I can't really tap into it. You see what I'm saying?
Conversation.
About arguing with a fool. People who are from the outside looking in, they can't tell who the fool is.
That's it.
So that's why you just gotta.
Can't do it.
Is that a Louisiana saying?
You like my little Louisiana
You know I love
I
it.
don't think it's Louisiana saying, but y'all never heard that?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, arguing with
for
the
sure.
fool, like
That's
they don't
just-
know who the fool is. Okay.
Maybe the Yankee in me.
It is the Yankee child, like some down south countries.
So another question. So knowing what you know now, because what you knew then is different than what you know now. What's the one piece of advice you would give your younger self about dating to find your person?
What would I tell myself now about dating to find your person? I would say date somebody who is on your team at the end of the day. Like, and that has to be from the beginning. We were just talking on the last podcast about how a lot of men will start chasing women and kind of lose focus on their goals or lose focus, you know, on their vision and stuff like that, chasing behind a woman who really don't want you there. You know, she likes the idea of you, you know, running after her, you doing things for her, it seems good. And then you wonder why it just falls short. It's because the whole time you've been chasing after her versus a woman who's bought in, who's want to be with you from the beginning, who's ready to, you know, give her all and everything to you from the beginning. That would be the difference. So find somebody that is willing to, from the top, be a teammate with you.
What is chasing behind a woman?
Yeah, because I saw that. I saw that reel and I was like, define chase. Because is chasing different than courting in your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Chasing is literally you are running away from me and I'm steadily trying to catch up to you, please you, jump hurdles, all the obstacles you putting up. I'm still going, and you not one time do you stop to help. Not one time do you stop to check on me. You steadily headed one way, and I'm just behind you.
It's not a reciprocal relationship
At all.
You're giving.
Yep.
And the person is taking.
And I think a lot of men go through that though. A lot of men go through that.
So why do you think men put themselves through that?
I don't like how you shifted that accountability on us.
No, it was a question. Seeking to understand.
Like
They don't-
Seeking to understand.
Go ahead,
I mean, our listener base is mostly female, so it is. These are important questions.
Men, they just simply haven't lived life. Part of it is like a lot of us have grown up with just mothers around or aunts and grandmothers, and it's not many male figures at all. So as we're growing up, they're constantly saying, hey, treat that woman with respect, treat her like a lady. This is what you should be doing for a woman, cater to her, spoil her, do this, do that. You're doing all these things for her, and then you look up, 4 or 5 years down the line, and it's like, when did she ever do something grand for me? When did she ever step out of her comfort zone for me? And a lot of men kind of get trapped into that out of just trying to please their woman and keep her happy, but they don't make themselves happy. So I think that's what a lot of men go through, and a lot of men just don't realize it.
I think that's true, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I think that's true, but just what I will say is that I would say if a woman does find herself in that, or a man finds himself in that situation with a woman, 9 times out of 10, the woman's questioning whether she's right with the right man. Because a woman who's behind, who's doing all that stuff that you said, suggested that they should be doing, it's going to come natural.
That's what I'm saying.
Organically.
Yep.
So if it's not happening, the woman is asking the question, do I really want this? Am I with the right person? Am I happy? Does this feel like forever?
Yeah. And I was going to say too, like, it sounds like ego to me on the man's part, like trying to get this woman to want him. A woman who's clearly not showing up and acting like she wants to be a willing participant in the relationship and be reciprocal, but you're still chasing behind her for whatever reason. Maybe she's beautiful. Maybe like you're just fixated. I don't know, when men want something, they're going to do whatever to get it, you know, and maybe it's just ego not allowing you to say, well, you know what? Maybe this woman just does not like me.
And we're not taught that part of the relationship. We're just taught protect, provide. So that's all men try to do. Keep you happy. I don't want her upset, because if she upset, that means I'm not getting no play at the end of the night. I'm not getting no attention. She's not going to be all up under me, which is what I want. So I'm going to do anything and everything to keep her happy. And it's always a chase. You're trying to find like the next high for her. You got to outdo your last trip. You got to outdo the last present. It's like, it's always trying to one up and not realizing that you got to be reciprocated too. To make
I think
that
it
work.
also comes from programming though. I wouldn't necessarily say ego. I say programming, right? Men are kind of raised to build our value. Women are born with their value, right? So we taught from day one, you go out there and you earn this, you go and build this business, you go out there, like anything that you want in this life that's worth having, it ain't gonna come easy. It's like those kind of cliches are kind of burned into us. So when we get outside, it's like, okay, yeah, if this woman is worth having, then she ain't gonna make it easy for me. She ain't gonna be easily available. So I need to, go ahead and earn her, create my value, different things like that. So I think it's more so that, but it comes a fine balance, right? To where you gotta be able to differentiate. Is this actually worth pursuing? Because if she is, she gonna give you some type of rhythm in return. A lot of dudes be chasing women who ain't giving them zero rhythm at all, and that I can understand. But it's funny, we have two women sitting here. It'd be interesting to see where that entitlement comes from. Do y'all think it comes from like the parenting, or like?
Let's see how you just flip that. Not a flip it in reverse in real life.
I saw the
What is this?
Okay.
I couldn't help it, pardon me.
What did I tell you?
But what was the question?
The question is, where does that sense of entitlement come? Because oftentimes, right? Oftentimes.
Watch he fix his posture.
Fix the posture.
This is element. This is serious element. I'm gonna give you that.
Oftentimes, right, we'll have women who will have this guy, quote unquote, chasing her. Now she knows that, hey, it ain't happening for real, but she'll still entertain him somewhat, still respond to the conversations, may even let him take her out, different things like that. And she knows deep down that there's zero possibility of it happening. Where does that sense of entitlement come from, to where I could just get whatever I want out of this man, and I know I could just finesse, I can manipulate? Where does that come from?
I think it goes both ways.
Whoa. Finesse and manipulate.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, because we have two different perspectives.
Pipe down, little grasshopper.
It's true.
We got different perspectives on this one.
Let's address the truth.
Both ways, because I have girlfriends the same. They're dating a guy. The guy is giving them little nuggets, little crumbs,
breadcrumbs, as they call it.
Breadcrumbs, like taking them out, showing interest, but not really wanting to commit. But they want to keep the girl around just for whatever reason, whatever she's providing for him. But he's not willing to commit to the relationship, even though he knows that's what the person that he's dating wants.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the level of entitlement on a man's part as well. And I always tell my friends, I'm like, a man knows if a man wants you, you're going to know.
I think y'all had a reel about that, actually.
I don't remember that one.
Look at the fact check.
I don't remember that one.
That's going back to what he was saying about chasing a woman and trying to show up and show her that, you know, you deserve her love. You know, you're there for her. So if a man wants you, there will be no
He's
question
not going to play behind you.
He's not going to play behind you.
Play about it.
It don't matter what you give him. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say 0, but if you may be giving him 20%, he's going to continue to work to get that 100%.
Yep.
And so I just think for women, men are not that complicated. I really don't think I don't think it's that complicated.
I agree. I want to argue, but I agree.
You ask that question, but I think it goes both ways. I just think it's entitlement and selfishness on both men and women. So go ahead. If you have anything to add to that.
I mean, I won't.
Okay.
I won't. I think you covered that well. I mean, the only thing that I will add to it is that, like, there are some women, and I would say present company excluded, to be clear for the mics, that at the end of the day, like, they're bored. Right. And it's not about manipulation. It's not about extortion or anything like that. But I just think that women at times get bored and, like, they want to get dressed up. They want to go out on dates. They want to have these experiences and they want them to be funded. And there could be some reasons behind that. It could be due to low self-esteem. It could be just due to the fact, like I said, that they're bored. I'm not saying that it's right, but I understand the other side of it. I do understand the other side of it. And but I also believe in preserving your energy as a woman, right? And making sure that if you're going to spend time with somebody, make sure that it makes sense to do so, because you can go out on date after date after date after date, and you're giving energy and depleting energy with each date. And then what if the right one shows up? But you're exhausted and you have no energy, no reserves to pull from, right? And how you show up is not necessarily the best version of yourself. So that's why it's important. You had a reel about this too, about, like, you know, protecting the access that people have to you, because you want to make sure that when the right person does come along, the person that you do connect with, you're not pulling from an empty tank. You're not pouring from an empty cup. So, I get it. I get why women do it, but I just think that they have to understand the other side of it and the consequences.
You have to be involved to understand that side too. I feel like as a woman, you have to be involved because women just go out because they're hungry and somebody's gonna pay for them to eat a meal. Like, it's not that complicated. It's not that. I mean, I'd rather DoorDash and get something and eat in my pajamas. Like you want to get dressed up, go out, eat expensive. You may want to go to Mastro's. Shout, this man is calling you, not you. We said excluded. Present company excluded. But I'm just saying, like, women, they just want to get dressed up, go to Mastro's, take dinner, and they have this man who wants to do that.
But and how dare I say, hell no, I'm not taking you to no Mastros. We just met. You know, like, women get offended by that.
They do get offended, and all of a sudden they're in your pockets talking about, you this, you this.
You a broke ass. Okay.
You never even been to my shows. You just heard about it. You know what I'm saying? Girl, you better get your ass out of here.
You know, you know, I'm going to take a show on my dime. You better go get you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I think it's important that women know their worth, right? And know what they are deserving of, but, like, let's make sure we're calibrated on the expectations. I don't know. I just think it has a lot to do with my upbringing, right? Being the product of 2 migrants. I know that I have to work towards things, right? And so first date, while I would appreciate Mastros, like, is that sustainable? Like, in real life, is that sustainable? Might be for some, likely, unlikely for most. So, like, let's start off with, like, what real life, I guess, could actually be like.
Right.
And I'm fine if we have those highs. I don't want any lows. We ain't tolerating lows, but let's have, like, somewhere in the middle.
So first date, if a guy was like, okay, I'm gonna take you out, we're gonna go to Chili's or BJ's.
Can we find another restaurant other than BJ's, child?
What would be?
So yeah, okay. So
what would be middle of the road?
middle of the road. I feel, first of all, my constitution is very delicate, so Chili's would not work for me. It wouldn't work for me. They put too much salt in their food. I'd be blowing up like a pig.
I like Chili's, girl.
I can't.
You better take that Red Lobster, girl.
I can't.
Red Lobster.
Said you wanted seafood.
I mean, so for me, I'd say like a nice middle of the road, like Garden Grace. What's wrong with that?
That's middle of the road.
What's wrong with Garden Grace?
Girl, bye.
Okay, I've never heard of Garden Grace. So
Downtown?
never heard of it.
Exactly. Fancy.
How fancy we talking?
Not that I'm
Champagne wife life. Sorry.
How fancy are we talking?
I'm trying.
I mean, it's nice. I mean, you could go in with like, go in with jeans and like nice shoes and a top and be fine. And then there were crickets. What's going on?
Date night.
I'm not trying to confirm nor
a date
deny.
night.
Okay.
It's a date night. What's the ticket looking like?
What's the ticket looking like?
Yeah, it's a date night.
Typically on a date night.
With you.
Probably.
we got
these
questions.
We're probably in the like between 150 and 2.
That's not bad.
Okay. I thought,
That's not bad.
Cool.
That's not bad.
Okay. I ain't mad at it.
Okay.
We have an agreement. I thought you were going to say 354 or something.
Look, won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Was that it?
That was
okay.
it.
All right. All right. So on one of y'all's videos it went really viral. You guys talked about a woman needing to know whether or not a man is on her side. Mm. And then you said that if she's having a bad day, if she got into an argument with her friends, her family, whatever the case may be, she needs to know when she wakes up in the morning that her man is going to have her back, be on her side. And so what are some of the things that you think a woman needs to feel safe in a relationship? Because you also mentioned safety, making a woman feel safe in a relationship. What are some of the things that you think a woman needs to feel safe?
That's a good question.
Relationship.
One, I think consistency. For one, it's a lot of dudes that can be the perfect man one day and then 3-4 days straight, he negligent or he not really listening to you, not really caring about what it is that you're doing. So I would say consistency first. Mental, a lot of men view protection as a physical thing. All right, you protect my woman, ain't nobody gonna play with my old lady. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's more mental as well. And what I mean by that is like as a man, understanding the fact that when I'm outside, I represent you.
Yes.
And vice versa. You see what I'm saying? And perception is everything. so I gotta keep myself out of situations that perception could damage your mental. You know what I'm saying? So I think those two would be a nice start. I mean, we can run down a long list, but I think those two are probably the main ones, man. Consistency and, protecting that woman's mental health by how you move and, how you treat her. Also, support, which is what I meant by always being on her side. I think that's super important. A lot of men don't realize like your woman comes to you for that safety, for that encouragement, for that upliftment, for that approval. If we're gonna be real, a lot of times in her decision making, or whether she getting into somebody at the job, or maybe she beefing with her fam, or whatever the case may be, but she need to always know that my man got me. You see what I'm saying? She don't want to be arguing on one end and then come home and be arguing on another.
Right.
And again, and for the record, that's not saying that we gonna go along with your terrible decision making. If your ass is wrong, you're wrong. But
accountability.
I'm on your side, and we in public, you ain't wrong. Period. Now, when we get to the house or when we get to the car, baby, nah, come on now, come on, baby.
You showed your ass.
Come on now,
right?
But you see what I'm saying? But even that is support because I'm trying to push you in the right direction. I'm trying to get you back right. You see what I'm saying? But for just her to just never question any of those things, I feel like is the key to longevity in a relationship.
And I feel like too, men, you talked about men being protectors and providers. I feel like a lot of times when women have conversations with men about an argument or a bad day at work, instead of listening, I feel like men try to fix it. They go into fix it mode. And I think that also causes a lot of confusion and conflict in relationships because whereas I am not looking for you to fix it. I'm not looking for you to hold me accountable or tell me what I did wrong. I'm really just looking for comfort and understanding. And I think a lot of men don't necessarily understand that, whereas their women try to come and talk to them to vent and then they ruin it.
Right.
by, trying to fix the situation instead of just listening, being a listening ear.
But the reason for that is that most men see our value tied directly to our ability to fix and problem solve. Mm-hmm. But we don't really understand the fact that presence is just as important as those other ones, right? Sometimes you don't need the answers. And a lot of times when y'all come to us with these grievances, y'all already have the answer already. Right. You just need to vent. You need to get it off your chest. So that's where presence comes in. Me just coming and just sitting next to you and just listening to you. Okay,
but how does one evolve to that from a male perspective?
Trial and error.
Yep.
Trial and error. Fact is that, again, programming is important. That's why I referenced it earlier. A lot of us are programmed to feel like finances, physical protection, problem solving. Those are things that you should have as a man. And because of that, we lack emotional intelligence. Because of that, we lack...
Circle gets a square.
And so a lot of that we got to learn on the fly. It's not until we get with a woman and she really expresses those needs to us. Like, just like you just said, baby, I don't need the answer all the time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just need you to listen. Mm-hmm. And then we process it like, damn, okay. So now I know moving forward. But going into it, we're not programmed to think like that. Mm-hmm. And it comes through trial and error.
And that's one thing I'm learning too, because from my side, I'll ask her, is this something that we trying to fix right now? Or,
to understand.
Or am I just, do you just need me to listen? Because I understand sometimes you just want to vent for 30 minutes and I got to just be like, okay, yeah, I see that, versus me trying to, solve the problem. So, but also from the woman's side too, it could be just leading off with, hey, I just need your ear for a second.
Right.
Or, instead of, I need you to fix this problem, or you just coming home, throwing your bags down and just laying it all out, So that's one of those kind of things too, where you come, especially if you come in like that, you have a long day at work or whatever, and you just trying to lay everything out. Now I'm on edge, like, okay, well, I got to fix baby, trying to make sure she back right, because everything is off right now.
Right.
So that's kind of how we get. Yeah, exactly. So we like, okay, hold on. So it's just both. We got to understand. We got to be in the moment and ask those questions. But also it would help if our woman would kind of just lead with, I just need your ear for a second.
And so let's flip it. When men, right, have those crappy days at work or those crappy experiences, is it common? I mean, are men bringing those to the altar or y'all are sitting on it and stirring? Are you, when you have your bad day, are you bringing it to each other, but not bringing it to your partnership? How is that working?
I don't think men bring it to the partnership.
We don't have bad days.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have bad days.
Nah, I would say that men view our woman and our house as a place of peace, right? So when we dealing with what we dealing with outside, we want to come home and we don't want to talk about that, because it's going to put us in the mood that we just try to get away from.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I think I need women to understand, if y'all don't listen to nothing else I say, listen to this.
When that man, directly into the mic.
Right, which one's my camera?
Right, we're not here.
But when that man comes home and experiences days like that, just like y'all said, we don't need y'all to problem solve. We know exactly what we got to do. Mm-hmm. But what we need is y'all to come home, sit next to us, rub on our back, and just be there. Presence, again, going back to what I said. Mm-hmm. But a lot of women come home, baby, what's wrong? What's wrong? No, I know something wrong. Tell me what's wrong. How can I? It's just like, baby, it's a lot wrong. But me explaining it to you, it's not going to fix it here. Mm-hmm. I got what I need to do in my head, but it's just a matter of me figuring out the approach and how you can aid in that. Is just give us your presence, give us that femininity that y'all bring, that touch, that rub, that, baby, you need something to eat, you good? Mm-hmm. That, and we good. But don't come in asking us 1,000 questions about it. All you're doing is adding to the stress.
That's crazy, because I feel like so many women
miss the mark on that.
Yes, because they want to be that space and that place where you can bring and talk and emote, unload your luggage, your baggage, right, and be that sacred space for you. But that's not what y'all want. That's not what y'all want.
That would take the whole weekend. Because we'd have to break down our thought process, why we do this, why we do that. Yeah. Because if we just automatically come off the reason why we think the way we do, y'all would be taken aback, and it would then just start an argument. Right. So for real.
Yeah.
So that's why it's it's really hard to understand, how we do it. So we just kind of filter it out, and we just need more of you. Yeah. And that way it makes everything else easier.